The world of addiction is now an epidemic, touching all communities. Join April Kirkwood, an actual therapist, as she shares insights with her show, After Detox. Now what? It's never too late to begin again.
Welcome to After Detox. Now what? My name is April Kay. I am a licensed therapist. I have worked in the addiction field. I have had experience with addiction in my own family circle, multi-generational, as well as being a mental health counselor. And I am distraught, heartbroken, and feel like there is so many missing pieces to helping those people you and I love arrive back to a place where they deserve to be, arriving back to a healthy lifestyle where they can achieve both their short and long-term goals. Before we begin, I would like to welcome you. Anytime you spend time with somebody, that is time that you can never take back. Time, the only non-renewable commodity that we have in the universe. Thank you again. Let's begin by closing our eyes and taking 3 deep breaths in our nose, holding it, and then exhaling slowly. As we do it, let's inhale healing light and energy. Hold it and let it out slowly. Once again, inhale, hold, and let it out slowly. Hold, and let it out slowly. Let's rub our hands together, increasing our energy, our excitement in our heart chakra. Thinking about what our intention is today. You can use my intention. My intention is to open my mind, my heart, my body, my soul, to learn something new, to heal, to gain integrity in everything I do. Let us clasp our fingers together symbolically, linking our outside world to our inside world as we join together learning more about addiction. And so it is. Addiction. Let's talk about what it isn't. It isn't a moral issue. People who are addicted are not morally incompetent in some way, a sinner in some way. They might make mistakes, as we all do, but the addiction itself is not a corruptness in their being, in their soul, in who they are. Nor is it a corruption and reflection of moms, dads, husbands, children who feel the need to absorb all of that guilt. If anything, we are absorbing, modeling the behavior or encouraging the behavior to continue because of fear and guilt. It's a very sad cycle. The addiction can be a multi-generational cycle. Addiction is not a moral, ethical sin of any kind. Sometimes it's the parents alone who don't realize that and, in a small way, corrupt the addict from getting well. The definition of addiction is something that is primary, progressive, and life-threatening, oftentimes fatal. I was listening to the news the other day, and the recent research states that we are not making a dent in the morality of addiction, and the mortality rate is not declining. In fact, in some regions of our country, it is in fact increasing. It started out with prescription medications, led on to heroin. Today, the killer of most addicts is a mixture of fentanyl, the new technological drives of drugs that are synthetically produced, coming in different qualities, different amounts of potency, are causing us to lose our family members, those we love, those we care for deeply? Are there answers to that? I think I might have come up with one special one, and we're going to be working on that, as well as giving you tools, information, education, and insight. It's not just enough to go to detox. It's not just enough to have a great toolbox, although that helps. It's not just enough to have a family support system. And it's not just enough to have a great counselor. All of those are parts of your ability to increase success in your recovery and your sobriety. Addiction. What is really addiction? Addiction is something that first started off as maybe a recreation, something you like to do to relieve stress. What's the difference between a habit and an addiction? A habit is something you do that you can stop. We all like to go out and buy a pair of shoes. Many of us like to go out and have a glass of wine with dinner or have a Bacardi on the beach. But we can stop. When it becomes an addiction, it becomes part of your lifestyle. It becomes part of your daily routine. And without it, you have some kind of craving. Something happens. Despite anything else you do, it becomes what you need to have to get through your day. Often the drug we use increases resistance to it, adding more and more need to add a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, until it becomes uncontrollable. Now, just maintaining what you did a few years ago to feel normal takes an enormous amount of energy, financially, spiritually, costing us family lives, costing us jobs, incomes, relationships. Those things that we once held near and dear to our hearts now are secondary to what we need to get. And that is the next fix to maintain some normalcy in a life that has gone wild. And then we are chemically brain addicted to that item, whatever that is: alcohol, heroin, fentanyl, opiates, crack, cocaine. And we have lost ourselves. We have lost our lives. We have lost our families. I was driving to visit somebody this past week, and I walked into the building, and there was that cool breeze, people standing, looking on, wondering who I was. Nobody really knew. And I walked over and I knelt down at that coffin. I looked at this young man who had lost his life. I whispered in his ear and touched his cold body. His beautiful eyes no longer able to look at me and stutter and stammer. I said, "What happened to you? What did we miss out? You had gone through detox, gone through an outpatient program, had your family support, got a job, had dealt with any legal issues with the courts. You were clean. You were good to go. Had many small successes. Somebody found him dead. They say it was an accidental overdose." I'm beginning to wonder, as a culture, are we all filled with so much stress, anxiety, self-loathing, unrealistic expectations. We are all on some level filled with self-loathing, all sabotaging ourselves. Maybe not as evident as this person lying in a coffin at a young age. I walked out of there shocked, dismayed, and I thought, what can I do different? What did I want to say to this person that I didn't get to? What could have I said? And I came up with this series. Some of this is going to be new. Some of this you're not going to like. You may be afraid to hear it. They may be new concepts. I believe that addiction is started from pain and sorrow, an impairment of your mental health, consciously, unconsciously, correctly, incorrect perceptions, it doesn't matter. Sorrow is sorrow. Pain is pain. Death is death. Addiction. All of us are responsible. We all need the knowledge. We all need to stop denying the problem. This is not a stigma anymore. This is an epidemic crossing all demographics. It's not what happens to those people across the street, those poor people, those rich people, those black people, those white people, those uneducated people. I have met more wealthy people that are just as miserable as somebody living under the bridge. Let's join together. Addiction. What happens after detox? Let's take it to the next level. Let's do the work. Dependence, substance abuse, they can be other things as well. Gambling, work, love addiction, shopping, compulsive overeating, pornography, sex. Those are called behavior addictions. Perhaps not quite as deadly to the physical body, but on some levels more deadly because they're not as obvious. They still kill the soul, the mind, the body, the life. There's no more time for shame, no more time for embarrassment, no more time for pointing fingers. Now is the time and now is the hour. It's 12 o'clock midnight, and we have not a second to lose. Are you an addict, or is it a habit? Are you falling down a slippery slope? Are you losing your wits about you? Are you engaging in behaviors despite all the consequences that are really self-destructive to your life, your children, your babies, those babies we love so much? I talk to so many addicts that say, oh, my children don't know what I'm doing. They know. They know everything. They may not think the way we do, but they absolutely feel the way we do. I have a handout for you. I'd love to share it. Go to aprilkirkwood.com, session 1, After Detox, What Now? Number 1. You will see a summary of what we discussed, as well as some personal questions you can download. You don't have to share them with me. You can reach out to me anytime. April, of course, at gmail.com. I believe you can beat this. But it's going to take a lot of work. It's not going to be easy. And it's not going to be overnight. We live in a community of instant gratification with technology that helps and hurts us all in one click of a button. I'd like to leave you today with a simple prayer, knowing that I'm here for you. And if you have never known that there are people out there that actually care, that want to get to the root of your problem, I'm not going to gloss it over. Rub your fingers together as I put them on the screen. I love you, I praise you, I appreciate you. You are God's child. Great things happen to you. Nothing can stop it. And so it is. Until we meet again, God bless and God keep you. Safe in His arms. I know He will.
Download the podcast, receive handouts, join her mailing list for extra tips. Go to aprilkirkwood.com now. Blessings from the staff and April, wishing you health, wealth, and happiness.